This is a ride through of Chasing Cows in Aint Golf. This was recorded, I believe it was November 23rd, pretty early in the winter, but the trails had seen a couple of laps from the groomer already at this point. So ducking into the trail, you start off with a couple of nice tight corners. You do have to be a little bit careful. It is a little slippery in the wintertime, even on a fat bike. But these two trails, having been around for the longest in the park, they're set up excellent for some nice winter riding, especially once they are groomed. The tight switchbacks do make a bit of a challenge. Didn't make that corner, but as they set up, certainly by now, it should be a little bit easier to ride. But yeah, starting off in this nice tight section is a good way to start your lap. I really enjoy it. As I mentioned, this was a beautiful day towards the end of November. I had the park completely to myself on this day, which was wonderful. It was a great experience. And yeah, riding my fat bike, which this year I'm riding a Surly Muckluck. Just pulling out of the trees onto the fairway now. I decided as I was putting this together, you didn't want to watch real time on the fairway, so I sped this up actually quite a bit to get us back into the trees, into the slightly more interesting stuff. But this is a nice place to ride, even if it isn't as interesting to watch. You get a wonderful view of the river from up here, and it's really beautiful. As all the park is, it's just a nice, calm place to spend time. So yeah, I like riding on the fairways as much as the trees, but figured you might want me to speed this up a little bit. Now you'll notice here on our left, you'll see a chain link fence. Chasing Cows, the trail is 900 meters, just under a kilometer in length. It is a climbing trail. You gain about 21 meters throughout the entire trail. And the fence you see on our left is the very east border of the park. So the trail runs south all along the east border of the park. And like I mentioned, it is a climbing trail. So as we duck back into the trees here, gets a little bit more interesting than the fairway, but yeah, a little bit tighter corners. You'll notice we're climbing a little bit, but nothing too crazy in terms of grade on Chasing Cows. Just a nice gentle climb from about halfway up the park to the very top corner, which we'll see in a little bit here. So yeah, just a nice little climb. Coming around the corner here, we're getting close to one of the first bridges, which is something you want to be a little bit careful of in the winter time. There are quite a few features that you'll find throughout River Ridge Park. Chasing Cows has 2 bridges in total. So this first one that we're going to come across right about now is the easier of the 2. Pretty much a straight shot. There's a little bit of a kink in it there, but shouldn't offer too much of a challenge. If you just hold your wheel straight, your bars straight, and ride right across it, shouldn't be too much trouble, even in the winter. The grooming does make it a little bit easier, should offer you a little more traction than if you are riding through fresh tracks, which is kind of nice. But yeah, this trail is just wonderful. If you're paying close attention, you might still see the east border on the left-hand side as I ride through here. We're coming up on 3 switchbacks there. So I just made it around the first one. The second one is always extremely challenging. And I didn't quite make it. There you go. I don't think I made it quite around the second one either. We'll see here if memory serves correctly. Yeah, didn't quite make it here. Now, by now you should find it a little bit easier. As I've said a couple times here, the park should have set up a little bit nicer with this colder weather here. So you should have a better shot at getting around that corner, which should be good. So at this point, we're starting to get pretty close to the end of Chasing Cows. A couple more obstacles to clear before we get there. First of which is the second of the 2 bridges. So yeah, you'll notice there is a little bit of a sharper corner on this one. You do have to be pretty careful about your wheel placement getting around there. You don't want your back wheel to fall off if you cut that corner too tight. And then yeah, just a couple more tight corners. You also want to be careful to maintain traction coming around here. There are some hidden roots in the snow, and they can slip out underneath you and help you to lose traction and kill all your momentum if you're not careful. But yeah, you'll see on our left coming up here pretty quick, we're going to be at the very top corner of the park. This point is the very highest point in the park. The difference in elevation from the parking lot to this top corner here is about 50 meters, so we have quite a lot to work with at River Ridge. Here we go with the start of It Aint Golf. So leading from the very southeast corner, we're gonna start, as I mentioned, going down. Here we go. So the speed should pick up a little bit here, even though the corners are a little bit tighter. I'm reasonably familiar with this trail, so I'm able to carry a decent amount of speed down here. These three switchbacks right here represent a pretty good challenge, especially in the wintertime. There is a huge temptation to just lock up the back brake and drift around them. I will request, please don't do that. One or two riders do that, and then all of a sudden we will have an absolute skating rink on those corners. So please try and be careful. Keep your speeds reasonable, keep your tires from sliding, and you'll get around there just as quick, I promise. But yeah, you want to make use of the berms coming down some of these corners, as speeds tend to pick up a little bit as we're coming down It Aint Golf here. It is a lot of fun. Both Chasing Cows and It Aint Golf were finished towards the end, actually I should say at the very end of 2020. So again, they are the most established trails in the park. It Aint Golf is about the same length as Chasing Cows, just under a kilometer, about 860 meters. And it represents about a 26 meter loss or descent in elevation, which can be a lot of fun. It's not a super steep grade, but there's enough there that you can really keep your speed up. Even in the wintertime, as the trails get groomed, you can have a lot of fun coming down this trail, which is great. You'll see here, I'm about to leave the trees, the tighter trees anyway, and get out into the open pretty quick here. We're gonna come around left-hand corner here. And then things will open up quite nicely. So we got a left, and then a little bit of a right, and it straightens up here. And yeah, even in the winter, you can really pick up your speed coming through here. So lots of fun. You can see far ahead and make sure that you're not going to come across anyone. Somewhere along here, we come across the cross-country ski trail. So you are going to want to make sure you keep your eyes open in the wintertime. There are lots of users in the park at all times. This is certainly not just a mountain biking park. Yeah, there it goes. Absolutely, in the wintertime, you'll see more skiers than bikers for sure. And that's fantastic. We love that. So coming towards the end here, we're out in the open for a little bit longer, and then we're going to come across a nice little section starting pretty quick here. So yeah, we duck along here and we get some nice little ups and downs. Again, in the wintertime with the slipperiness, you do want to be a little bit careful, but you can use those berms to your favor, try and carry some speed to make the climbs a little bit easier. Down one more time. And then back up again. Just about lost it there. And then you can go around here. I like to go over, although can't get quite as much air in the wintertime, but that's fun. And then we're coming right up at the very end of It Aint Golf here, just at the very end of this little climb. And there you have the Chasing Cows It Aint Golf loop, just under 2 kilometers of very fun blue trails with about a 25-30 meter climb. Lots and lots of fun, no matter how fast you want to try it. Now, even though we're back where we started, I decided to tack on a quick drop down Rocking Plymouth. Now, I avoided the drop. You'll notice it's closed. You can see there it's blocked off. But Rocking Plymouth is open, and it's lots of fun in the wintertime. Nice little drop here. And the only thing you really want to be careful of, this rock garden I'm coming up on is a little slippery in the wintertime. So just choose your line carefully and you shouldn't have any troubles at all. But yeah, we duck through these tight trees, couple quick little corners, and then we will end up on Lower Halybird, right at the parking lot level. So just a fun little way to end your loop. Thanks for tagging along, and again, I hope you'll come out and check out River Ridge Trails in the wintertime. Lots of fun to be had, whether you're skiing, biking, snowshoeing, hiking, whatever you want to do. Come check us out.